All right, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening, or good morning, whenever you're listening to this. It's Bob Turner, and this is the Ordinary People Doing Extraordinary Things podcast. We are on episode number 7. And one might think that I ran out of guests because you're looking at me. You're just stuck with me this week. But even though that actually is the case, I did want to come on and say that most podcasts, I heard last week, most podcasts only last 7 episodes. So here we are at number 7. So I'm the extraordinary person today, and I wanted to just circle back and talk a little bit about how it's gone. What is that saying? How it started and how it's going. So it's going well. I thought I would just talk about each guest that we've had and what some takeaways were from that, and just circle back and just kind of go back through it and talk about how it's gone and what's happened, some of the things people have said to me since I started, and just kind of rehash it. I made some notes. It started. Mitchell walked in one day to do video for our renovation videos, and I said, "Hey, we're starting a podcast." So off we went, and I said, "You're guest number 1." So he jumped behind the camera, or jumped in front of the camera, I should say, for the first time. And we talked about what it was like to be 26 years old and be an entrepreneur. And he crushed it. He did a great job, and I thought it was relatable. I hope people got a lot out of it. He left his accounting job in corporate America, per se, and jumped into doing something that not a lot of people would have done at that age. So I've enjoyed being around him. He's wise beyond his years. He does all my video. He's pretty much an employee of my contracting company, and he's doing stuff for me every week, and he drives me and pushes me to a new level. So I think that's pretty cool. If you guys are interested in talking to Mitchell, he's Powers Promotion. You can find him on Instagram at Powers-Promotions or Powers_Promotions. I'm not sure. He's easy to find. Mitchell Powers Promotions. Anyway, he was guest number 1. Then we rolled over to Falmouth and met with Amanda Stevenson. And Amanda's a great friend and my financial planner. And she's doing a lot of great things for the people in the Falmouth area and all around. She's a mother of twins. I think they're 9 now. And I just thought she was a pretty intriguing person to connect with. And she just kind of bootstrapped that whole financial planning business right from nothing. And so we spent 45 minutes or so with her talking about life and what it's like to build something up from nothing, and just kind of, plow your own way. She got divorced and didn't got back to Maine and didn't have a lot. And, flash forward 8 or 9 years, and you might look at her, and I think I joked on the podcast that she was an 8 or 10 year overnight success. And kind of the takeaway I got from that is you just got to show up every day and just keep doing what you're doing. And she did it. And, she's just still doing it every day. She works hard. I don't know anybody that works any harder than her. She's networking. She's out doing a lot of the things that you just need to do to grow your business. And I thought that was relatable. So hope somebody got something out of that. She's still killing it. She's at the Edward Jones office in Falmouth. She's easy to find. Amanda Stevenson, Edward Jones Financial Planner. So then we rolled into the Muscle Show with Scott Bowman. Scott owns Iron Legion Strength Company, and he runs the the Not Born This Way podcast and the Not Born This Way apparel company. So Scott's got a bunch of different things. So it was kind of cool to talk with him for a bit about, I have one business, and he's got 3, and he's crushing it on all levels. He's got a lot of help, and he didn't just wake up one day and say, well, I'll have a podcast and an apparel business and have a kick-ass gym. He's struggled. He talked about that. He talked about the people that he has around him, and we also just got right into what it's like when somebody leaves his gym. And he's really kind of training entrepreneurs over there, which was really cool. That was neat to see. Scott's got a neat perspective on life. He runs a coaching group, and he's just a pretty humble guy, and a lot of people just gravitate to him, even though if you look at him, he can be rather imposing looking. He's bald-headed, bearded, tatted up guy. Not the kind of guy you'd want to come across in a dark alley, but probably one of the most compassionate, understanding, empathetic people that I've come across in life and business. And proud to call him a friend, and I know I could call him if I needed something or was struggling with business or whatever. So that's a great podcast. If you haven't seen that one, check that one out. And then Jamie Logan rolled in and brought the house down. Jamie is 40, is he 46, 47? And 3 or 4 years ago, he was stricken with Parkinson's disease. His shoulder was bothering him, things were happening, his foot wasn't working right, and got this, diagnosis that not a lot of people that age get. And we talked a lot about his perspective around having Parkinson's disease, having it at a young age, and what that looks like. We talked about him, he gets up every day, 6-7 days a week, and goes over to Foley's Fitness, and some days are better than others, and he gets a workout in, and he stays active, and he's wearing a brace on his foot and his leg, so he doesn't, have, dropped foot. And, it was just an interesting podcast, and probably one of the more popular ones where I had a lot of feedback on it. People said, "Oh my God, thanks for sharing that. It was a powerful story." And I hope people got a lot out of that where, hey, maybe you're driving down the road someday, life sucks, I'm dealing with this, I'm dealing with that. And then you flip on that podcast and listen to Jamie talk about what it's like to try to tie his shoes, or have to use voice text just to do his sales job, which he's tops at in his company. So another overachiever, self-starter, kick-ass guy that I just like having in my life, and I was really psyched when he wanted to come on. So he's easy to find on Instagram as well, and his wife Nikki jumped on for a bit and talked about what it's like to be married to someone that's struggling, and she signed up for it, and they're knocking it down. They're getting up every day and doing it, and I know it's not all rainbows and unicorns for them, but they're kicking ass and taking names, and I'm proud of them. So I love to go over to the gym and see them, and just good people. So after that, for number 5, we went with my cousin Matt Ferry. Matt's a U.S. Marine, and he was in Fallujah and Iraq and all that stuff, and things that I can't imagine doing, he was doing at a young age. And he got out, and like a lot of those guys, struggles with some PTSD and all the things that go with that. And he talked about that, talked about getting away from drinking. And he started a company or an organization called Veterans Fishing. And Matt's goal is to get as many veterans out on the water fishing as he can, which I think is pretty cool. And he does some fundraising. He doesn't take a paycheck from it. He has a business where he's scooping up dog crap in people's yard and trying to raise money through selling his apparel and getting guys and girls that are struggling, that have come out of the service, getting them out on the water with the love of fishing in mind. So that was pretty cool, and we had a great talk, and it was just kind of neat to see the level of effort that he puts in to it without even getting paid. And he's pretty committed to it. He's a passionate guy. He's a good follow on Instagram as well, at Veterans Fishing. Look him up. He's posting all the time. And if you like fishing, or if you got an interest in helping veterans, he's a great way to do that, is to go on and check him out. So then we went the law enforcement route after that, and got local Wyndham police officer Ernie Mcbain on. And Ernie came in, he saw my guitar sitting there, and we were off and running. And I think we played guitar for 10 minutes before Mitchell even turned the camera on. So we had a blast. He just talked about, what it's like to be a cop today. I asked him right straight up if, people, heap hate on him, or what the differences are in being a police officer today. How's it different than it was 10 years ago? He talked about the community, how the community of Wyndham really embraces him, and they love the police force here. I'm a resident of Wyndham, and I can say that too. I don't, there's no hate for the cops around here. I think they do a great job, and fire and rescue and all those guys. And but it was just kind of cool to get plain clothes and shoot the shit about that, and what he does in his spare time, and what a career as a police officer in a relatively small town looks like, and whether you can hang it up in your locker at the end of the day, or whether you can't. And he definitely doesn't. He makes himself available to the general public day and night, much to the chagrin of his superiors sometimes, where they call and they just want to talk to Ernie. and can you have Officer Mcbain give me a call? I need his help. So I think that speaks volumes for the kind of guy he is. And incidentally, his podcast is approaching 400 views. Like, I can look at the analytics after, and I kind of watch that. And between he and I think Jamie Logan's podcast is maybe a few behind. So it's been fun to watch those guys duke it out on how many views they get. So that was all 6. And then there's me. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about why I'm doing this, and kind of how it came about. And like I said, Mitchell walked in one day and said, we're doing a podcast. And I don't really know why. It was just something that I decided I was going to do and spend 52 weeks doing it once a week. Today's Wednesday. It's going out, whether I like it or not. This is not going to get edited. Mitchell's away on some sort of safari or something, some sort of vacation for 3 weeks. And I got through most of it. I'm like, today we're going to have to take the training wheels off. So like I said, I'm committed to doing 52 of them. I've gotten great feedback. And I just want to thank all you guys that have tuned in and listened to it or watched it. I put it up on Podbean, and that's just the audio. But we let this one, the video stuff, live on YouTube. Some people like to watch podcasts. Some people just listen while they're driving, listen while they're doing a workout. So, so podcasting. I want to share some of my favorite podcasts, and maybe you guys will get a little something out of it too. If you're watching this, then maybe you would like Lewis Howes. He's great. It's called The School of Greatness. I like Scott Bowman's podcast. He was on this one. His is called Not Born This Way. You can find all these on Apple Podcasts. I like Mike Claudio's podcast. It's called the Big Stud Podcast. And some of these are business related too, because I have a remodeling renovation company. So Mike talks about sales and marketing and just general business stuff and just crushing life. I listen to Andy Frisella. It's called Real AF. I can take that to a degree. I like Andy a lot. He's a passionate guy. And I try to stay away from politics and religion on this as a rule. Totally, actually. We haven't really gone that route. I just feel like if you do that, you alienate half your audience. And that's not what I'm all about. I do have some thoughts and beliefs, and I'll keep those to myself for as long as I can. If gas prices continue to go up, though, you might hear from me. The Ed Milet Show is a good one. Check that out if you want. Another really motivational guy. Somebody I heard recently was Donald Miller. I might have heard him on one of the other guys' podcasts, but his is called Business Made Simple. So if you got your own business and you're looking for some of these things, those are a good thing to check out. I listen to Ben Newman. It's called The Burn. Ben is a mental performance coach, so I've been messing around in that space a little bit lately. Ben's a kick-ass guy, and he works with a lot of high-level athletes, and it's just a no bullshit kind of guy, and tells it like it is, and that's my kind of person. A friend of mine named Kelsey Abbott, she used to live right here in Maine. She does a podcast called Find Your Awesome. Check that out. She's really good. And finally, as you guys know, I do contracting and remodeling. I listen to the Contractor Fight. Tom Reber and his team over there are killer. They're helping me out a lot. So if you're a regular consumer, that one might not entice you. But if any of my contractor friends are watching, you guys that are painters, electricians, subcontractors, framers, anybody that's running their own contracting business would benefit from listening to the Contractor Fight. Check it out. You'll love it. So I don't think I'm going to go too long today, but of course, it's my first time doing it myself. I'm having a blast. So I wanted to talk about some of the feedback and some things that have happened and things people have said since I started this. You just don't know. You put yourself out there. It's not easy. I've had a lot of guys recently that I talked to in the coaching group that I'm in, and they're like, "Geez, how do you do the video? Geez, what are you doing? How do I get started?" And well, I'm pretty comfortable with it. Not so much the video, but I've always been comfortable with a microphone. I used to DJ for 22 years or whatever, so that doesn't bother me. I've said a lot of stupid things on the microphone. So, but when you've introduced wedding parties and there's 100, 200, 300 people on a Saturday afternoon, you get one shot at that gets your attention real quickly. So this is easy. We can edit this out, or we can just record over it or press replay if we need to. So that's, to anybody that's thinking about putting themselves out there like this, you just got to start. hit the button, start. If you do it and throw it away afterwards, if you don't like it, just don't do it. Right? You know, post it and don't worry about what people have to say. I'm not. So, you know, I wanted to show people what it's like to put yourself out there. And I've always tried to be a leader, you know, and I'm probably best described as a guy that's a gatherer of people, whether it be triathlon training or, you know, putting a training weekend together or doing a big blowout up at my camp or whatever. I've always been that guy that says, hey, let's do this. Good, better, worse sometimes. So, but I've had some people message me and just simply say, hey, I enjoy your podcast. And that's cool. Because, you know, 6-7 weeks ago, it didn't exist. And I think we've touched some people's lives in ways that I wasn't before. And I'm a guy I'm just grinding through life and never, I don't fancy myself a particularly giving person with regard to the community, or, you know, I'm not down scooping soup at the soup kitchen or helping out the homeless, but this was something I was comfortable doing where I thought, hey, I've got a little something to offer, something to say, and maybe somebody will get a little something out of it. Maybe it'll help get somebody out of bed in the morning. Maybe it'll help someone get their workout done, get on a diet, lose some weight, feel better about yourself, pick someone up when they're down, that kind of thing, because everybody struggles. So, but yeah, so to hear somebody message me and say, hey, I love what you're doing. I've taken a little crap, good-hearted crap for it. Somebody said to me the other night, geez, I'm surprised to see you. I thought you'd be working on your podcast. I said, well, now that I'm famous, I probably shouldn't even be talking to you, but here I am. So I will share that I had interesting thing happen with, you know, kind of guys, some guys, you know, in the working world, in my business, you know, kind of taking some shots at me, and that didn't feel too good. And I really don't even want to dignify that too much by talking about it, but I'm just gonna. Here's how I level set that in my mind. I think people people are most comfortable when you're in your box, and I'm out of my box. Some people don't like it. Makes them uncomfortable. I don't know why. I'm doing my thing, but I'm not stopping. I'm not going back in the box. So I'm doing this 52 times. So. We're going to go for it. If it makes somebody uncomfortable, or they want to take a shot at me, or say, hey, Bob thinks he's all that in a bag of chips, I don't really give a shit. I'm doing my thing. People like it. And, you know, maybe my daughter will see it and say, you know what, I'm going to put myself out there. I'm going to take that next step and go for that job that I didn't dare to go for. I'm going to go schedule that interview, or I'm going to go chat with that person that I was intimidated by. So, again, don't really know why I'm doing it. It just feels right. We're getting out there and doing it. And if any of you guys that want to take shots at me or you know, legit shit on me for doing it, I don't care. I really don't care. I laugh. I told Mitchell, I said, I can't wait till we get our first hater. So maybe we've got a couple out there. The best part is you can use that, you know, you can use that little button on your phone and just turn it right off. So, yeah, so anyway, that's that on that. I'll kind of close it up by saying, just sharing what's going on with me lately. We're wrapping up first quarter in Turner Builders, killing it there. Things are going great. We're putting new systems in place and getting more organized, getting back to people better. It's been a free-for-all the first, the first year we had some organized chaos and hemorrhaged some money to get some jobs done, but you know, just jumping into it, it was just crazy. And so we're going forward this year trying to level up our subcontractor base. If you know guys that are looking for work, whether they're plumbers, electricians, framers, painters, we just want good quality people to work with, guys we can have a conversation with, that we don't mind putting in front of our homeowner, where we just feel good about it being on our job site. So if you know guys like that, I'd love to chat with them. We're looking to just improve all the time. So we're well on track to blow through last year's sales goal, and probably do it in the first 9 months of the year. So that's pretty exciting, although it's incredibly hard to keep up with. Got Ryan in the field, and he's taking care of a bunch of stuff. I wish I could pay him $1 million a year. It's worth every nickel. So that's been good. On the personal side, my foot feels better. My back is starting to feel better. I had another bout with that a few weeks ago. And if I can get this elbow working right, I'll be in good shape. So shit starts falling off after you hit 50. It's not good. And I beat myself up pretty good for 15 years doing triathlon, but I wonder what kind of shape I would be in if I hadn't done that. And so I've always, I think people generally have the impression of me that I'm always out biking, running, doing something like that I'm neurotic about it, but I'm really not. I struggle to get out the door some days, and but I have to force myself to do it because I love to eat, and if I didn't do that, I think I'd weigh 400 pounds and be in a lot better spot, a lot worse spot. So trying to get going on that stuff. To that end, I booked a race with my friend Jared. We're going to do I don't know what it's called, the Chicoro, a mountain race this summer. It's in June, so I guess you run up that mountain and then run back down and run up again. There's a couple of loops. It's about 15 miles. I don't think we'll be running it. I'll probably be walking wicked fast. So I forgot to put my phone on mute. So Ryan, I'll call you back. I'm almost done. Sometimes I feel like I'm mowing my lawn when my house is on fire if I'm doing a video and I've got somebody I'm supposed to get back to, but we juggle it all and we get to it eventually. I'll probably end up with a couple of trips to Texas this year. See Bailey. She's out there in Dallas-Fort Worth area, crushing it as a social media specialist. So that's been fun to watch her grow and do that kind of stuff. And I've kind of decided that maybe next winter I'll try to get into a warmer climate for a few days, a month. It just, I think it's better for me mentally just to get out of Dodge for a bit. And I'll tell you what, anybody that's struggling getting through the winter here at Maine, you gotta get outside. You gotta do some things. You gotta stay busy. I mean, some of the things I just wrote down before I started was, join a gym. If you're not going, just do something 2 or 3 times a week for 30 minutes. We got to get out of our own way. Like I said, get outside, go to have a guy's night, a girl's night, something you do that you can look forward to during the week. Because if you don't, you just get in that grind and that tailspin. And here we are looking outside and like, yep, it's mid-March. We got another month of crap weather, and maybe it'll be nice mid-April, and then hopefully by May it'll be pretty good. We can roll the windows down and maybe put some shorts on, and then bang, 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 June, July, August, and here we go. It's getting colder again. So it's a short season. You got to try to find a way to enjoy those off months. So, and I guess what I would close with is, just in the last couple of weeks, my neighbor, Jimmy, has just struggled a little bit with his health, and he's 78. And I just love him. He's drives a Mustang 5.0. He's like the coolest old guy you'd ever want to know. And we have a good time hanging out, and he's got a couch in his garage, and me and the dog go over and hang out, and he fills the dog full of treats, and he doesn't eat for a day, so, but whatever. But he's had some health struggles, and we were sitting there on the couch yesterday. I got to see him again because he's back. He got out of the hospital, and sitting there, and he looked at me and he said, he says, well, sitting there, one of the things that bugged me the most is I wasn't sure I was going to be able to drive my car again, and he's got a candy apple red Mustang 5.0, and we were sitting there staring at it, and I said, Jimmy, don't worry about it. I said, if you can't, we'll put you in the passenger seat and I'll drive and we'll go give it a good rip. So, but it kind of made me realize that, you can't take shit for granted. And if there's stuff that you're thinking about doing or you want to do, go do it. Tomorrow's not promised. You don't know, I guess what I wrote down is, what is it you're not doing today that you may not be able to do tomorrow? It's a short trip we're on, guys. So give that some thought as you go through your week. And I hope that helps you a little bit. It's been fun today. I'm looking there. We're coming on to 24 minutes. I didn't think I had more than 12 minutes of content, so I should know better. I could talk all day. Thanks again to everybody for watching. Sorry if this one is a little bit, it's short, and it's, I don't have my really zippy, intro that Mitchell usually does, but it's going up one way or another because we're going to stay on track. Committed to 52 of these babies, and you'll probably see me again rolling solo, but it'll only be in between people. I'm looking to have some good guests on. If you know somebody that you want to shoot me a message on the side, say, hey, this person would be great, let me know. In the coming weeks, I think we're gonna get Mike Foley on, and there's a couple other another guy at the Wyndham PD that wants to come on. And if you know a female that is crushing life, we'd like to try to even it out a little bit and get some women on. So just shoot me a message and let me know. You can check us out on YouTube. It's just my Bob Turner YouTube page. This podcast is going to live on Podbean, and we're on Apple Podcasts now, so we're actually pretty big time. So, which you know that if I could navigate the tech of getting that done, it can't be too tough. So anyway, spring's coming, guys. Hang on to it. Thanks for listening. I'm going to jump out and get something done, and hope you have a great rest of the week. Thanks for listening. Take care.